What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Donald Trump managed to disrespect the whole entire continent of Africa, all African leaders, all African Americans, all at the same time while attempting to give a compliment, a backhanded compliment from an ignorant, racist person who knows nothing of history. He hosted a bunch of African leaders as Africa is currently in a battle for the hearts and minds of business leaders and politicians in Africa to combat the ever-growing BRICS and the economic development and unity between Africans. So America has a policy. They're trying to play nice, right? Because they need the minerals. They need all the resources Africa has to offer, and they can no longer just plunder and pillage every African country. They may have been able to continue to bully Congo, which one day we will free Congo. Well, liberated Africa will free Congo, right? But they can't do the same thing to all countries, right? So Donald Trump was talking to the Liberian president, right? And I guess Donald Trump doesn't read, right? He doesn't listen to his advisors. He doesn't take briefs before he talks to heads of state, and he just wings it. He just says things from his gut, right? I guess he didn't know, and I guess a lot of people don't know, including the people calling themselves SBA and ADOS, who are highly xenophobic towards African people. A lot of them are not aware that Liberia, for all intents and purposes, is an FBA country, a foundational Black American country, an ADOS country, African descendants of slave country. It's the country created by ADOS. It's the country created by FBA. It's the country created by African Americans, because we don't go by that dumbass ADOS and FBA name. It's the country created by those who were formerly enslaved. And it's called, and the capital is called Monrovia. All right. Long word for Monroe. Okay. The Monroe, the president, former president of the United States. Yeah. So he didn't realize that, Liberia, that's my big ass door being blown in the wind. Didn't know that Liberia official language was English. So when a Liberian is speaking to the president of the United States, when the president of Liberia, who is a foundational Black American for all intents and purposes, who is a ADOS for all intents and purposes, right? Just so y'all know, because I gotta speak dumb for you guys, because y'all don't know that, right? So when this African American president, right, who was speaking English, because he was taught by the same people that taught us, right, the British, just so you know, right? Donald Trump decided to give him a compliment on his ability and his mastery of English, and asked him where did he learn it from. Let's see, where did we learn English from? The British, our enslavers, the colonizers. That's where we learned it from, right? But he didn't know that. He's the president of the United States. He didn't know that. How you not know that? You telling me nobody briefed him on this? Nobody briefed him on this before he sat down to speak to all these heads of state of Africa, right? And of course, Africa's in an uproar. All the other heads of states who are obviously either politically against the Liberian president or whatnot, they feel disrespected. They said he should have got up and walked out. But I understand why he didn't. Because, when you come to speak to the president of the United States, you got to pander, because there's things you want too. There's things that these African countries want from America. And unfortunately for them, they have to, just like all the other countries that come to America, have to pander to an old, egotistical, white racist man. You have to pat him on the back. Tell him you're going to give him a golf course or some shit, because he's a narcissist. You got to give a narcissist something. You give him a compliment. He will give you anything you want as long as you pretend to like him. Right. And that's exactly what they did. They were being diplomatic, right, and professional, which they were, very diplomatic and professional. And I have to say, he did treat these African leaders a lot better than he treated the South African leader, Ramaphosa, right? But yeah, he completely disrespected every one of us, even our Black politicians, right, who I'm pretty sure know that they're from Africa, because that's where we're from, because we're not any type of pretendian anything. We are, in fact, Africans, right? They were very, very offended. And if you're an African American, right, if you're a proud African American, if you're proudly Black, right, and you actually care about your FBA and you actually care about your ADOs, how y'all like to call it, then you should also be offended how this president, who was particularly orange today, I mean, he was orange. I'm talking real orange. I almost felt like he was trying to compete with the African presidents who can be the darkest, because he was going for it. I mean, it would look terrible. I mean, he literally did look like he took a bag of Cheetos and just patted that shit on his face. But I don't never get why he don't never get his eyes. Why don't he get his eyes? He's a billionaire. Why can't he get a professional to do his makeup? I don't understand. But nonetheless, he was looking particularly orange today as he was giving his backhanded compliment, right? From his position of ignorance, his position of white supremacy that you people gave him because y'all thought he was better than the black woman who's not black, but she's black. So y'all get mad at her for being black, use all the tropes for her being black, but while saying she ain't black at the same time. I don't get it, right? That's neither here nor there. Anyway, I'm going to put the video here, and you'll see how the Cheeto man disrespected every single black person on the planet in one go while trying to give a compliment. That's how absolutely racist and a loaf he is to this world. Anyway, that's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
There's an awkward moment at the White House on Wednesday. Donald Trump praised the president of Liberia for his, quote, good English, even though English is the official language of Liberia. This happened during a meeting between the U.S. president and the leaders of 5 African countries. CNN's Larry Madowo has more.
What President Trump led with at this meeting with 5 African nations showed the true intentions of this White House gathering. The leaders of Mauritania, Senegal, Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, and Liberia have all one thing in common. They're small economies, but with rich mineral deposits, rare earth minerals, gold, oil, manganese, iron ore, and they're offering these to the United States, to American companies. They're looking for win-win solutions, as President Brice Oligui Nguema of Gabon said. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye went even further, though. He actually offered a golfing investment opportunity for President Trump and said it would be a few hours flight from Miami or from DC. You can show off your golfing skills. Because world leaders have learned that to really do business with President Trump, you have to appeal to him. You have to fawn. And they all did that beautifully.
Represented today, and your continent is represented by Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mauritania, and Senegal. All very vibrant places with very valuable land, great minerals, great oil deposits, and wonderful people.
Mr. President, we thank you for this opportunity to be here. Liberia is a longtime friend of the United States, and we believe in your policy of making America great again.
An awkward moment there after President Joseph Boakai of Liberia spoke, and President Trump appeared to be surprised that he spoke such excellent English. He asked him, where did you learn to speak English so beautifully? And President Boakai smiled and nodded and said it was in Liberia. He didn't point out that English is the official language of Liberia. Another curious moment, President Trump handpicked one of his favorite reporters, an African reporter, and she asked these leaders if they would nominate President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, which she knows has become a recent obsession of President Trump. They said they would, or they would look into it, that they would not be opposed to it. Again, they're trying to be nice to him as their host. They're not trying to antagonize him. One thing that didn't explicitly come up, but is the subtext here, is China. That was the elephant in the room. These countries are not explicit allies of BRICS, and so they're easier entry points for the U.S. into this new commercial diplomacy that President Trump is favoring in relations with Africa. Larry Madowo, CNN, Lagos, Nigeria.
In the span of about 10 seconds, the president managed to offend the entire continent of Africa. Trump was hosting 5 African leaders at the White House on Wednesday when he got sidetracked while chatting with the president of Liberia.
We just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully?
Okay, that was awkward because, of course, the Liberian leader politely informed the president that he was educated in Liberia, where the official language is English. One Liberian diplomat told CNN's that Trump's question was inappropriate and condescending, and a South African politician questioned on X why the Liberian leader didn't stand up and leave. Turning it back to the group chat, first, just a little bit of reaction. Adam Kinzinger, former GOP congressman, always Trump antagonist, said this: X, absolutely the dumbest man in government. This is just ridiculous. And then Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Democrat, saying Trump never misses an opportunity to be racist and wrong. Every day he finds a new way to be embarrassing. I don't know where to start. How do we start on this?
He doesn't do propriety well.
He was offering a compliment in his
he was
mind.
trying to offer a compliment, but was completely inappropriate in doing so, and frankly offensive, because this man's native language is apparently English, and apparently our president doesn't understand the historical ties to Liberia, given a lot of free slaves were returned there, and the capital is Monrovia for James Monroe. I mean, it just kind of displayed a lot of ignorance about.
Megan?
I mean, even if you make it more simple than that, this just amplifies the term ugly American. Anyone who's traveled abroad, we all feel that when you go somewhere, we're loud, we're travel in packs, and everyone looks at us like, oh my gosh, those are the Americans. This is just why people think that we are so terrible all the time. Like, how can our leader and our president be so dumb to just say this in front of press, in an open meeting? I mean, how is this even a compliment? Even if it, even how is the, it's hard to fathom. You just can't make it up.
What came to mind for me is that there's large swaths of the country and large parts of the Trump constituency that don't want certain aspects of Black history in the public domain, right? Scrubbed from websites. They talk about slavery era history that they want erased. Liberia was founded by free slaves. That's history you would miss if you thought it was woke.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this comes down to how is he getting prepped? What is the priority for when he's prepping for these meetings and understanding the history and the culture? Clearly, that's just not a priority. He's walking in pretty blind. And so that speaks to how much of a priority they take in understanding the history and the culture. If he was adequately prepped for this meeting, that mistake would not have been made.
Yeah, though I was surprised the meeting was happening. And we have to say, at the end of the day, they didn't get the treatment that the South African president got. And maybe in that way it's a win. And maybe that is why the president of Liberia did not just get up and walk out, right, as people are dealing with tariff issues.
Wait. Before you go, for all my subscribers and philanthropists out there, I'm building a solar power community water bowl system in Nigeria. It's going to cost between $5,000 and $6,000. I'm trying to raise money. If you want to participate and help me build this solar power water system, please donate to the Cash App and put solar water in the notes. Solar water in the notes. I'll put PayPal, Stripe, and Zelle. Anyway, thank you. That's all I gotta say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out. Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.